Okay, now, from source to destination, ensuring sustainability in tourism. This is the theme of our next panel. From source to destination, ensuring sustainability in tourism. I would like to invite some sector leaders to the stage. This valuable panel will be moderated by the president of Yuvam, Dünya, Ms. Kıvılcım Pınar Kocabıyık. I would like to welcome her to the stage first. Welcome. I would like to invite Almila Kından Cebbari from the Turkish Environmental Education Foundation. She's the CEO. Welcome. I would like to invite Emre Doruk from Setur, Marina. He's the general manager. I would like to invite the vice president of Diversey, Aksoy. And I would like to invite the CFO of Akfen Energy, Özgür Uzunoğlu. The floor is yours. Thank you very much. Welcome. This has been a long day and we are approaching the end of the day. But before we finish, we are going to discuss a very important topic, sustainability of tourism and sustainability of our industry. As you know, we are located in the Mediterranean basin and we are in a location that is affected the most from the climate crisis in the world. We have to transform very urgently and very fast. Tourism sector, tourism industry have always had an impact on the climate crisis, and it is also one of the sectors that is the most affected by the climate crisis. Therefore, first of all, considering that the resources of our world is limited, we have to ensure the right transformation of our sector. Almila, I would like to start with you. We have to make our industry sustainable. This is no longer optional. This is a must. You are the general manager. You are the CEO of the Turkish Environmental Education Foundation, TÜRÇEV. You have world-famous awards, Red Flag and Blue Flag. You are kind of supervising the distribution of such awards. I would like to start with Blue Flag, Mavi Bayrak, Blue Flag. It is an important referring point in the world, and you have been doing this in Turkey for many years now. So, what can we do to provide support for such awards, and what do you do to support them, and what is your objective, what is the general target of these awards? I would like to ask you this question, start with this question. Thank you very much. Well, we have a lot of tourism people here, some industry stakeholders from the coastal tourism industry as well. Blue Flag is an important instrument for the marketing of tourism. Well, the starting point of the Blue Flag practice was about the water quality, swimming quality. This was related to water management. This was done for municipalities, tourism people, operators, their responsibility to control their waste, to keep those areas clean, that prioritize. This is a certification program that prioritizes the control of pollution and the health of local people. But tourism operators benefit greatly from these awards. Actually, this process started in 1985 in France, and in 1987, the European Union thought that this was a bright idea, and this was generalized in European countries. And then it was implemented in many countries, in New Zealand, in South America. This was adopted in all of these countries. So everywhere where tourists go, actually tourists pay attention to it, which is important to tourism agencies. Now it has an important place in tourism rating. When travel agencies, tour operators make deals with hotels, they pay attention to Blue Flag Award program. They look at it, they consider it, which is beneficial in the following way. Well, the tourism industry cannot explain itself without the notion of environment. I have tried to listen to all of the speeches delivered today. The financial industry says that our credits will go to the enterprises that have the necessary certificates in terms of environment. Therefore, the environmental studies efforts in that sense must be proven, and this cannot be done with only declarations. You cannot only say that I'm environmentalist and hope for the best. You need to prove it with an internationally approved document, a certificate. This is what is valued now. Okay, let's say that we have that certificate and we have attracted a lot of tourists. Does that not deteriorate the environment? Do you supervise that? Do you control that? Because these are the most beautiful places. Are they not deteriorated if they attract more tourists? Well, there's a certain capacity of a of a tourism operator, and there are natural parks. Well, you have to control the number of visitors. It is important to control that because this is what we saw during the pandemic. In coastlines, we had some allotted areas for each tourist. We have to do that actually. If the bed capacity in a facility is 500, you cannot go beyond 500, so there is no problem there. But if we have pressure on the owners, on the owners operators, then there could be some problems, which we observe in certain areas, in certain natural areas, green areas. Well, that's great. Thank you very much. Now I will move on to Ömer Bey. You have been in this industry for long years now. You're one of the divas in this sector. So I'm not only going to ask you questions specific to your institution. I believe we need your opinions in terms of the entire industry. We have seas all around us in this country. Therefore, marinas need to minimize their impact in terms of sustainability. We know that you have many important projects as Setur. You cooperate with NGOs, so I would like to ask you about these projects. Well, we are in the afternoon. This has been a long day. Thank you very much for your patience. I'm glad that you're here. Well, I would like to elaborate on your question. You talked about marinas, how they pollute the environment, right? Well, this seems like an institution, a kind of facility that pollutes the sea, but this is where we make money. This is where we carry out our commercial activities. If we do not take good care of them, we are eliminating our own source of revenue. We have to abide by the law, all of the regulations, and we have to go beyond that. This is what we do. Not only ourselves, we have our stakeholders, which means our guests. We have to increase their awareness as well. We provide the services at marinas, but it's the individuals that use those seas, that water. Well, I have known Almila for more than 20 years. I got to know her the day I started working at the marina industry. Therefore, TÜRÇEV is important for all marinas, for all coastal operations, for all hotels on the coasts. They are a solution partner for all of us. We consult them in terms of our eligibility according to the criteria, if we are in line with the criteria or not. Our Setur marinas exist in 12 locations, 11 in Turkey and 1 in Greece, on a Greek island. Only 8 of our marinas abide by those criteria. So there are certain criteria, and would like to abide by those criteria in all of my marinas. I cannot because there are some regional problems stemming from the municipalities or other industrial organizations. At our blue flag marinas, I mean, it's not only related to our cleanness on our coasts. Actually, blue flag practice is related to marina criteria identified by TÜRÇEV. Another solution partner of ours is TÜRNEPA. Therefore, we work with these two organizations. Why do we work with them? In order to raise awareness. We know what kind of dangers we create, but to what extent are our guests aware of them? We are trying to use every method available to increase their awareness. Apart from TÜRMEPA, we have an association that carries out important work for the marine life, an association for the protection of seas. They carry out, for example, seawater analyses. We collaborate with them in order to raise awareness in the same way. What do we do more? We carry out R&D efforts. For example, we developed an instrument that's called Smart Cleanium. So some small scale above sea pollution, in order to clear them, we use some robotic instruments. And as Setur Marinas, we received a very good award in Monaco during Monaco boat show. The solar energy project that we have there, we received a jury special award for sustainable marinas. This is a first for the Turkish marina sector, an internationally recognized award. Today, sustainability, is very important, and we have a name that is recognized on an international level. So I would like to thank all of our stakeholders. Well, this was a very important award. Thank you very much for that as well. What is important to us is to raise awareness and to raise awareness among the boat owners and users of our coasts about the pollution of seas. This is something that is very important for the entire world, for our industry, but for the entire world. Now, Özgür Bey, I would like to turn to you. You are in the renewable energy sector, and the tourism sector contributes to global emissions by 8%. Therefore, transforming to renewable energy is very important for the transformation of this industry. How do you see the opportunities in our industry? Where do we see the renewable energy opportunities in our industry? Thank you very much. I would like to thank everyone for their valuable contributions. As you said, tourism industry is one of the most important emission producers, and the renewable energy industry is very important in terms of contributing to sustainability. We have an important mission there. Looking from this perspective, in Turkey, we have made a lot of progress in the past 20 years. Our total installed capacity is 114 gigabyte per hour, and a lot of it comes from renewable energy. Turkey is one of the 14 countries that has exceeded 100 gigabytes, so this installed capacity is very important. The industry has three main functions in terms of the value added of renewable energy. The first one is direct sales of the electricity produced, of the power produced by renewable energy operators. There is infrastructure implied in this, shopping malls, roads, etc. So operators need to have their own renewable energy facilities. We have regulations that have been implemented more and more in the past 4 years. Companies, investors, they have the opportunity, they have the capacity to make their own investments now. I don't have the exact statistics, exact figures. I'm sure there are some reliable figures, but when we consider that in our country we invest in solar power, we have come to the point of 30 gigawatts. And in the past 2 years, there have been an investment for 15 gigawatts, which makes in total $15 billion of investment. Most of it comes from solar. I do not want to speculate, but all of the main actors in this ecosystem are now announcing their own renewable energy projects. And in this sense, Turkey has a mission to become a sustainable tourism destination, and there is a lot of effort going in that direction. Secondly, they can choose another model rather than producing, for example, rooftop solar panels, having them for their own lighting or charging their electric vehicles. So smaller scale rooftop solar panels, we see such systems being installed more and more. So in order to decrease carbon emissions, there are some certificates such as gold produced by the renewable energy sector. And tourism sector users can provide such certificates from producers. Therefore, renewable energy contributes a lot to the sustainability of tourism. So there are many opportunities, right? Yes, there are many opportunities. The investment, the amount of investment is increasing very fast. There's the financial dimension of this as well. When we look at enterprises, hotels, energy is one of the top cost items. Therefore, investments in this area are gaining more importance day by day. Of course, financing requirements and their development are very important. Ratings are an issue that we follow. Cost reduction is also important. So when we make renewable energy investments, Turkey has created its own ecosystem rather than taking it from outside. Turkey is at an important level now in terms of producing energy from solar. It's not only done in Turkey, but it's done abroad as well. We are at a good point in the scale of the world. Well, we can take the lead in terms of renewable tourism. The crisis brings along certain opportunities. We have to seize them. We are talking about the upcoming 10 years, therefore this has an importance in it. Sustainability does not only concern the environment, there are many dimensions to it, the social dimension, societal dimension, economic dimension, etc. We have to have a holistic approach here. Once we do that, once we transform along with the stakeholders, everything will be better, in my opinion. Alp, now I would like to turn to you. I would like you to elaborate on this. When we discussed before, I had seen that you were interested in this area. So does such an approach lead you to have more interaction with stakeholders and working with stakeholders? Well, thank you very much. Sustainability is an interesting concept. Since the morning, everybody has been talking about sustainability. Yes, it's a very broad topic. We hear it a lot everywhere, but we should not ignore it. We should always pay attention to it, right? Yes. Well, if we ask ourselves a simple question, do we want to be clean, proper? Yes, of course. Do we want to be smart? Yes, of course. We all want to be smart and operate in a smart way. Well, do we want to be sustainable? Yes. I mean, not everyone says, of course, directly. People go out of the contracts that they had signed because they say, well, sustainability is a luxury to me. But if we read it right, sustainability is a requirement, it's a must. And we can only understand that when we understand different dimensions of sustainability. I would like to thank, by the way, everyone who has stayed this late. But I would like to say something very important here. It's 6:30 now. Now everyone left work, they're in traffic. They consume more fuel and they will be late to go home. But you're very smart. You're going to hear this panel, listen to this panel, and you're going to travel for a shorter period of time. You're going to consume less fuel and you're going to get home earlier overall. You saved time, you saved energy, you create less carbon emissions. So thank you very much and congratulations for this decision. But as you can see, carbon emissions and time can create different kinds of returns for us. In a different seminar that I was listening, they asked, yes, sustainable products are expensive. Is it right or is it wrong? Many people said, yes, it's expensive. Sustainable products are expensive, they said. Well, for a product to be sustainable, it has to be non-expensive because you cannot keep buying a sustainable product. These are contradictory concepts. You have to look at what that sustainable product brings to you. I'm working at this Diversey company for a long time now. Hygiene service is an important part of our business. We have innovative products that we come up with, and we offer it to our customers. Sometimes they are more expensive than a normal product. But we tell our audience, we say, if you use this product, you're going to consume less water. You're going to consume less energy, which means less carbon emissions. If you use this product, as you will wash more quickly, you are going to save from labor force. So instead of outsourcing, you can do it with your own resources. So when you take an action, you can reap results in very different areas, very, very different areas. Therefore, sometimes I'm afraid because when we say sustainability, the word green comes along with it. Green means climate. Of course, climate is a result. But sometimes we believe that climate is our target, is one of our purposes. But when we say that, companies say we are not at the point of discussing the climate. First of all, we have to save ourselves. But by saving the climate, and by the way, I'm so happy that the panel before discussed this, when we move in a smart way, when we come up with smart ideas, when we are able to look from a smart perspective, when we make the right energy investments, then while protecting your company, you're going to protect the environment in the long run as well. So what I'm trying to say is, in 1979, the Brundtland Report was published by the UN. They have published many reports, but this was the best one, clearly explaining people, planets, and profit. Profitability, richness. It summarized all of these very well. Well, if we adopt projects that serve all of these themes, in that case, we're going to create advantages for our companies, for ourselves as individuals. We're going to do the right thing for our climate. When we say green, we have to know what green means. Yes, but we do not hesitate to say green, and we do not have to see the climate only in the short run. We have to think about it in the long run, because this is one of the biggest crisis that is faced by humankind. Almila, I would like to turn to you. Another important award, Green Key. There is the blue flag and then green key, right? They came one after the other. You adopted the green key to our country. This is something, a key, an award system specific to the seaside operations in our country. We have to know more about it so that we know how to contribute to this system.
Yes, thank you very much. We have talked about a lot, talked about these matters a lot since the morning. Green investments and blue flag maybe is more of the attention of people, but coastal areas, rather than only coastal areas, green keys can appeal to many areas, not only hotels, but also some other businesses. Yes, maybe we concentrate on hotels, but restaurants also are very important for services industry. There are many more facilities, but also there are camp areas, hostels, small-scale hotels, not only the big ones. Yes, renewable energy investment can be in the agenda of big-scale enterprises immediately, but climate change has to be a concern of all sectors, regardless of size, and that's what we have to do for touristic attraction points. This goes the same for conference venues. These are categories we do the rewarding about, and green buildings. As I've said before, the people and also profitability of enterprises will encourage for maybe economic profitability, but measured systems and a trial and measuring should be done. Sometimes self-measuring or criteria for measuring do lack. However, this is an advantage of Green Key. When our teams audit, they do even check the rate of water flow. And for taps, we want to see that there's a serious energy, serious water saving. We want a carbon footprint to be measured for all these facilities. When I say facilities, I mean all the tourism groups. Yes, sometimes maybe you cannot take all the big measures you have to take, but even calculating your carbon footprint would create a lot of difference. And in the morning, this was also mentioned, you cannot manage what you can't measure. We have a fire bowl in our hands. We went over 1.5 Celsius degrees. In Marmara region, it's even 2. So everyone says maybe 1.5, but the Mediterranean heated up more than that, and Marmara even more so. So we have a fire bowl in our hands, and we need to manage this well so that we can make it productive. Starting from the management of food waste, all the way to all sorts of savings. When you do all of that, you go into a more efficient ecosystem. And informing clients, customers, this is very important because your clients will use the water, for example. Yes, this changes habits and maybe disrupts and transforms the stakeholders. Um, I think tourism people have a lot of important roles here. Yes, maybe we do B2C, but also it's one of the most important matters to also make sure that the clients also transform. We need to be sharing these because the more you share, the more it touches their hearts. And maybe it's difficult to transform people, but we should never give up. It's not like we have heard about these a lot of times and so on. We will. We will be hearing. And maybe one last thing for me to finish. In the previous panel, I guess Ece from Paloma Group said, if I'm referring to a wrong person, I'm sorry, but if I remember right, it was Ece. She said, what took us here won't take us where we want to go anymore. So far, tourism industry, as we took it as services industry, should not be a sector, an industry that teaches clients. So from serving to maybe teaching. Yes, a great vision can help achieve that. And for you, Ömer, for the next decade, what kind of plans do you have at Setur? Because whatever you do turns out to be a source of inspiration and sheds light on the industry overall. What would you like to say? If you maybe take a look back, maybe 10, 15 years ago, when I first saw things, how they worked, even the CEO of our marinas are here. We had a discussion, let me share it with you. 15 years ago, we were doing some renovation work, and it was new in the market. Street lamps in form of batteries, which would get energy from solar lights. It had 5 units, the normal street lamps, but the other ones working with the solar power was of a cost of 15 units. But we could not sign it. We said, this is a lot of money, this is a big investment, but in time the costs fell and we changed. So this was a real conversation we had. Back then, what was luxury for us now has become a part of our lives. This goes the same for how the fridges, refrigerators, for example, came into our lives. It was first a luxury product, but with more welfare in the world, it has been an indispensable part of our homes. Just one thing to add. When this is the case, so leaders like you should be the leaders who make maybe decisions that go beyond boundaries. Yes, the coach group, I'm a part of it, with international contracts assigned. We have a zero carbon commitment until 2050. Yes, we have our responsibilities in all 11 regions. So whatever our share is to do to achieve that zero carbon, we will do whatever it takes, because this is also the expectation of the market. This is also the expectation of capital holders. There are many pillars of that. When you do that, you have some new financial instruments open to you, and these will all encourage. But it means that we will change in the next decade. We will train ourselves, we will train our guests. This is my goal. In all three of our marinas, we have started these gas projects. You have probably following these closely. So for our three marinas on our coastal sides, we will get electricity from over Nevşehir province, which is in the central Anatolian region of the country. So, as a result of a big consortium we will try to make the best out of the opportunity that came our way. Because sometimes when we say we will improve, we destroy. Therefore, we need to have a good balance there. Thank you. Very right. And now I'll turn to you again, Özgür. Yes, we talk a lot about these things and say that we talk a lot about renewable energy, but we also want to share some inspiring stories about what goes on in the country and in the world. As I said, there are some leaders who go beyond borders, and we need such leaders, such projects who will lead the way. No matter what industry this is, we need people who will transform and go out of the box. So, what is going on over there, and what inspires you? Yes, as you said, there's a lot of inspiring things done in the world, and we've been going through that, and this goes the same for the climate crisis. For sustainability in tourism, this is one of the main themes in the world, just like we have AI. In tourism as well, that sustainable travel trend is coming more and more to the attention of people, as you, the partners or the members of this industry, also see and hear. A sustainable global tourism market of $250 billion is what we talk about. And the speed of growth annually, on average, is forecast to be 25%. And as you said, the world is ours, and the sustainable tourism destinations, as the name speaks for itself. If we want to see these places a century later for the next generations, then we should know that our, as well aware citizens, we will design all things accordingly. And tourism operators are aware of that for countries or for local cities specifically. Let me give you an example. In 2024, Valencia was in the foreground for being the tourism capital of the world. Unfortunately, they sustained a very unfortunate climate event. But Valencia is making plans to consume all its energy from renewable energy resources, and this goes the same for their green plans. Copenhagen, they're in the forefront in this regard as a city in 2025, not in 2050. They have a goal to attain for carbon zero. They've been exerting a lot of efforts, and I had a chance to make observations recently, and it's one of the countries where the energy, alternative energy resources such as wind is much of primary attention. In countries, smaller countries, let's say, we see some similar examples. The Maldives. Sun, with no doubt, is the biggest source. Costa Rica, likewise, is maybe a distant destination, but they have a high potential for hydroelectricity power. Hydropower, was it 98%? Yes, it's about 98%. Their usage of hydroelectricity. So another example that I can remember is Iceland. Geothermal. They're famous for their glaciers, And in Iceland, they have their own unique resources. Yes, we also have geothermal, but it's very limited. I guess by 99%, Iceland is able to generate its own electricity, its own power. Yes, we also see some in our country, in the Aegean coast. We have sustainable tourism destinations. This is what we have to do. Yes, we try to do our best. Istanbul is a metropolitan city with almost about 20 million people. So it's in and out of itself a country with such a population. In renewable energy, in terms of capacity, we have almost caught up with Italy and Spain-like countries in solar energy, and it shows the leap, the movement we have had, and it's feasible. And last question to Alp, maybe in 25 minutes, because we have 25 seconds. We have so Green Globe-like certificates. These are certificates many talk about, but where do these certificates sit in sustainability? And to what extent do you use these programs, these certificates, in your cooperation with your partners and stakeholders? Well, my colleague already talked about these beautifully. This is 100% must-have. It's a part of the education, but not sufficient. These are only, and it's a source of motivation to have that certificate, and you motivate your company. This is a goal, and the goal is clear. We're going at that goal. There's a great checklist. First, learn what these items in that checklist are and do them accordingly. And fairly, in a standard way, everyone wants the same thing, and it distinguishes the enterprises which will attach importance to these criteria, and these are the ones that don't. And if we don't change things that has brought us here, then tomorrow we won't have a destination. Therefore, a continuous education. Green Key in our day is a good sum up story of things. For being innovative, people are truly doing a lot of good things. I'm happy about my company. It has to be a better place because we're there. Was a saying we had at the company going back in time. This was a message of the company, but to me personally, as a member of this company, I was receiving that message to maybe make things better for my company, for my family, for my environment. And in hotel business, when you place a hotel in a certain district, that district will go through it anyhow. And for the future, digital solutions are coming, and because of digital, internalizing data and acting accordingly will be of the opportunities on their way. Chemical-free detergents are coming. Detergents which will make you spend less energy and water will come. And processes that do not include any detergents will come. And detergents or soaps that are not packaged will come, so you won't have such waste also. Therefore, technology is taking us go towards a sustainable future in a speedy fashion. Thank you all very much for your great contributions, and thank you very much for your kind attention.
Çok teşekkür ediyoruz bu harika panel.
Thank you very much for this great panel. It was really great.
Thank you very much for your contribution, for your participation. Bir fotoğraf çekelim.
Hadi değil mi? Çıkartabiliyorsak da neyse. Ha yok çıkmaz.